V-Mart retail has gained most in 5 days and it's stuck in an upper circuit right now. The key is, if indeed Indian shores for the first time saw sales coming in post Thanksgiving, is it a sign of what things will be like within the Indian retail landscape? Let's get in the Chairman and Managing Director Lalit Agarwal on the phone line to talk about this and how is the festive season, which actually began well, looking like shaping up. Mr. Agarwal, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. We'll talk about the numbers as well. They happened about 10 days ago or 15 days ago. But first, just a brief outlook on how demand is looking like in this, while we are at the fag end of the of the festive season.
Hi, good afternoon. Though you understand the festival shift in this time of the year, and the first 50 to 45 days or the first half of the third quarter was indeed very good. Demands were high, and we saw a good pickup during the festive time. And then festival to festival, there was a good growth that we could visualize, and we can see that we have actually got a very good high double-digit growth number during the first 40 days of this quarter. Post that, for the last 10 days, I think we have been seeing some downfall, and then we have been seeing some lower demand coming in, largely because of the marriage dates getting shifted this time into December and February. So India behaves more in the smaller town, at least. The consumption is more dependent on the events, and these events are marriage events also, which are large spending events and where people spend. So that is what we are seeing right now on the ground. On the ground right now, we are seeing a little lower demand as of now, but otherwise things are okay.
Right. So are you seeing a lot of variation in terms of the average selling prices? Are you seeing a dip there? Also talk a little bit more on the same store sales as well as volume pickup. And do you see a substantial uptick in the December quarter? And now that you're saying that the marriage season will fall in the December month.
Yeah, so we have seen a good amount of growth coming in this particular quarter till now as a YOY, both like-to-like as well as from the new stores that we have opened up. We opened up almost 27 new stores. So we have seen both happening, except this last 1 week or 10 days where we have seen this downfall, because ultimately, as I told, it is because of the marriage and also a little lesser winter wave, because comparatively we are seeing a little summerish winter as of now. We have not seen a sub-10 temperature till now in any part of India, in northern India also. So we are expecting that winter also to come in the first week of December or the second week of December. It is a little late, but yes, we should see more growth coming in. And yes, in this particular quarter, as such, the third quarter is always good for the company. And this particular year, because of the festival shift, it will be even better. So we will have a good amount of growth coming in this particular quarter.
Do you see a lot of competition coming in from the online players?
Yeah, the online players, yes, they are good to spark the consumption ignition in the market. So we have seen some ignition getting sparked off right from the Diwali days and then the Dussehra days, and then so that has happened. So not everyone results into purchasing from online players, but yes, it helps us to create the demand, also create the aspirations in the minds of consumers. So it has benefited positively to us, whatever has happened. But otherwise, we have not really seen a great impact on that side, which is actually taking away our customers. We have not seen that. We are seeing rather, those customers who are researching online but buying offline. So those customers are in our stores.
Right, so there's no market share loss per se for you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about your footprint and your expansion of footprint city-wise, and where you're seeing most amount of traction, whether it be tier 1, tier 2 cities. Where exactly is much of the footprint coming in?
Yeah, so we have been always focusing more on tier 2 and tier 3 towns, and last year, if you remember, we have penetrated also in tier 4 towns, which we experimented, and then till now, those towns, some of the towns have been doing good, but some of the times still we feel challenges. So, but overall, what we have seen in the past, the footprint that we have largely in tier 3, which is almost 60% of our current base, and then in tier 2 and tier 4. So, but now we are trying to penetrate more into those tier 2 and tier 3 towns and markets, either wherever we are present or also entering to new towns in the adjoining areas. As we entered Northeast in the last quarter, so we entered in Northeast. We opened 5 stores there. So we are penetrating more there. We did more stores in West Bengal, and now we are focusing more on Jharkhand and Bihar. So those expansion continues, and we will continue to look at the existing market as well as the neighboring markets.
So one last question from me. If you could give us a ballpark figure. I mean, I asked you this question before regarding your same-store sales increment as well as the volume pickup. If you could just give us, rough estimate of what we could do this quarter.
So we would. I mean, we have been telling it, and we would try to maintain around 5 to 6% of our same-store sales growth, largely coming from volume. That's what our expectations are, because till this year or first half, we were almost 1% of like growth or almost neutral growth. So we have seen good festival. So we should expect good marriage season going forward, and good winter also. So something around 5 to 6% is what our targets are.
Wish you all the best for that, Mr. Agarwal. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us and giving us that perspective.